Welcome back to Beyond the Blocks, where we bring you conversations with the coaches, athletes, and minds helping shape the sport of track and field. I'm Coach Lonnie D, joined as always with Coach Will Humphreys and Anthony Lewis. Today, we're excited to be joined by Brandon Thomas, head coach at Servite High School and Rosary Academy, reigning California State Championship coach and California State Coach of the Year. Coach Thomas has built one of the premier high school programs in the country, developed elite athletes, coached alongside an outstanding staff, and continues to impact the sport through leadership, mentorship, and championship culture. We'll dive into his journey as an athlete, the influence of legendary mentors, building nationally respected programs, and competing against the best in the country, and the legacy he's created both on and off the track. Coach Thomas, welcome to Beyond the Blocks.
Man, I'm excited to be on here. Man, I'm excited. Thank you guys for having me. I've kind of watched you guys show over the last couple of months, and I'm pretty excited what you guys are doing. You guys are telling a different story, so yeah, I'm fired up. I'm fired up for the opportunity to be on you guys' show. Thank you.
Appreciate you, here, Coach.
Appreciate you. Hey, so Coach, so take us on your journey. You were an athlete at UCLA and also at Cal State Long Beach. So how did those experiences at those schools shape the coach you are today?
I was a basketball kid growing up, so track really wasn't my thing. I did a few track meets as a kid and did really well, but I was mostly a basketball kid growing up. And then my last year in high school, I decided to run track, and did decent at it. I made it to the LA City Finals, and then I decided to go on a totally different venture and try track as an actual sport to focus on it. So I walked on to Cal State Long Beach, and I was lucky to have a really good coach, a grinded out coach. He's pretty smart. Definitely got me to the next level in my collegiate track career. Like I said, I walked on to Long Beach at the end of my freshman year. I broke the Long Beach State freshman record. At the time, it was 10:56. We just got broken 2 years ago. So 10:56 was my freshman record at Long Beach State. I was Big West runner-up. I finished 7th at U20s. And I think I was the fourth fastest freshman in the country at that time. I mean, imagine 10:56 was the fourth fastest freshman in those days. So that was my start. My second year, I was Big West Conference champion in 100, runner-up in the 200 again, and then decided to transfer to UCLA to train under legendary coach John Smith, and then ended up being an All-American in the 4x1 my senior year, I think, which is still the second best 4x1 in UCLA's history. So that's saying a lot. Absolutely. To have the second best 4x1 at that particular institution.
No, that's big right there. Who was on that 4x1 with you, Coach?
I don't know if you guys know. So all of them are really good friends with me today, except for one. We're still looking for him. So Brian Phil, he was our hurdler who ran first leg. Second leg was myself. Third leg was Damian Allen, football track guy out of Damian High School in San Dimas. Also a football player as well. And then Jim McElroy, the starting wide receiver on that team, who ran the ankle leg for us.
Oh, that's big.
And what high school did you go to, by the way?
I went to LA High. Not known for athletics.
Yeah.
I was the only guy at the end of the day for our track program. I think we started off with like about 40 kids. And then by the time grades came out, it was only like 2 or 3 standing.
Oh. Well, I've been to LA High once. In high school, I played baseball. I went to Dominguez High School. And we had a baseball game. I believe your track there at the time, I'm not sure how it is now. It's a dirt track, right?
It's the same. It's a dirt track.
Still dirt track, and the baseball field is on the track.
It's on the track in the middle of the football field.
Man, I tell you what, I was playing center field one day. And I was talking to some girls that was like behind me in center field. They were in that, fence. And so it was a pop fly came out. And I'm trying to be like Kevin Mitchell that used to play for the San Francisco Giants. So I tapped my glove on my leg like him and try to be all cool. Man, that ball hit me right here in my face. Man, all them girls started laughing and stuff at me. Dude got an inside the park home run on me because that field is literally on the track.
It's on the track in the middle of the football field. I played baseball too, all the way into the 10th.
Oh wow!
And so I played quite a few baseball games there as well. But if you get a nice hit into left center,
yes,
that's the end of the homer.
That's
East
in the
New
park
York.
all day at LA High.
East
All
New
day.
York. Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
That school it's still going.
Oh yeah.
LA High is still going. I think half the school is a charter school now, but you have LA High and you have a charter school on campus. But yeah, it's still going. I think they need to put a track in there by now, though. But it's a nice little stadium, nice little campus.
Yeah. Yeah. It's up there on that hill.
Yeah, right at the top of the hill. Yep.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice school. As far as location, well, depends on how you think of it.
Yeah, because the east south part of it is a little rough. But
Yeah.
the west and north part of the school is in like legendary communities.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just to so I can get a picture of this, there's the track, there's a football field, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and the baseball. It's all in one. It's like
It's all in one, man. So you have so at the baseball diamond home plate is at the southwest corner of the field.
mhm.
So if you're a lefty, home run, like the home run field is like
Money.
maybe like 150 yards, maybe
Right.
maybe less than that.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So one
That's
side
funny.
one side is like 200 yards away,
Mhm.
and then if you're a lefty, the right side, like right home, the gate where if you hit a home run at is like 150 yards, maybe 100 yards from home plate. So it's a
Great.
weird setup. It's a weird setup.
It was wild.
If we can find a picture, I'm gonna drop a picture in on this episode for the YouTube.
Yeah, drop it in because if you go to Google,
Uh-huh.
what you call it, Google Maps,
Yeah.
it shows you with a baseball field in the middle, and you will see
Uh-huh.
how short the right field is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's wild.
All right.
So,
We
Coach.
got up on a tangent. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, you said LA High. I was like, oh, I got a memory from there.
Yeah, man, that was my spot. That was my spot for a minute.
Right. So you go to UCLA. You were influenced by legendary coaches Tommy Smith and John Smith. Like,
Mhm.
what did each of them uniquely teach you about coaching and leadership that you apply to your programs now?
So both coaches are pretty different. Both are legendary names, moguls in the game of track and field. But John is really more of a technician, and
Mhm.
so I felt Jerry Kabline was my coach at Long Beach State.
Okay.
A legend in the Long Beach area. And he taught me how to grind it out. I mean, our workouts was tough. It was pretty tough. Long days. We didn't finish practice until about 6 or 7 o'clock. We go to the dining hall. We got cold food because it was what was left over. But he pretty much taught us how to grind.
Okay.
John Smith was more of a technician, and so he would take his time to pretty much teach me how to sprint. Unfortunate for me, I didn't figure out what he was trying to teach me until maybe I had like 2 months left in my senior year.
Mhm.
It took me a minute to understand what he was trying to, as far as like from a technical standpoint, to comprehend. And then one race, I just got it. I figured it out. But unfortunately, I had like 3 or 4 more races from that point to really kind of execute or to compete at that level from what I've learned from John Smith.
I like that.
So since it took you a while to catch on, do you approach kids when you're trying to, whether it's teaching them a drill and stuff like that? Does that allow you to be patient with them since he was kind of patient? Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, it allows me to be patient, but I guess in addition to that, it gave me the opportunity to teach them from what it was hard for me to learn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To lessen the learning gap or the learning curve. And so now, like I go into when I get new kids or I get my current kids, like I'm extremely patient. But with the learning curve that I had to learn what he was trying to teach me, I kind of passed that on to my kids. And some get it really quickly. Some it still takes a little bit of time to get. But for the most part, a lot of my kids benefit from some of the things that I've learned from John Smith. Now, Tommy Smith, on the other hand, Tommy was more of a technician from race prep. And so I spent my last 2 summers with him. I have a video tip. I got to find it. To where he videoed each and every workout that we did. And he put it all in this VHS cassette. But with that being said, he was all about race prep and how to set up a race and how to finish a race. In his eyes, he thought I was a quarter miler, which at the end of the day, I probably would have been a better quarter miler. But he taught me how to break down the 400, how to break down the 200, and how to run it. And so he was a technician from the standpoint of putting your race together and executing a race plan.
Okay. So I have a question for you too, with regard to it taking a while to really get it. What he was saying. Do you think, because I feel like as coaches, we're trying to relay information to kids, and sometimes they're not always getting it. And then with some of them, it's like I found personally anyway that some verbiage may work with this kid, but it may not work with this kid. So we're trying to, while this kid may have a different language, and you kind of almost have to individually do that with all the kids. If everything won't digest to them, so you got to find their language. But do you agree with that? Do you relate to that? Do you feel like that has I don't know? I kind of going off on a tangent. Sorry.
I think I get what you're talking about as far as like communicating with kids.
Yeah.
Like all of them are different. Yeah, I think we all know because we've all coached, right? And we all know to reach one kid is not the same way you're going to reach another kid. One kid, I may have to be cautious of what I say, so that way he won't go tone deaf on me. And some kids, I got to be a little bit more aggressive in how I'm teaching him, how I approach him, because he won't get it. He won't get me being soft, And so each kid is different. Each kid learns different, and the approach has to be tailored towards the kid. Absolutely. If that's was that what you were trying to say, Will?
Yeah, and just how like again, like whatever the message is that you're trying to relay, how you may have to change it up individually for the kids for them to digest it or understand it. Yeah,
for sure. As far as like how I explain drills and how I go about for sure. Each kid is different. Each kid learns a little bit differently. Some kids don't get it immediately, but they may get it down the road. But it's my job to try to relay it in a way that he can understand what the approach that I'm trying to give him or the lesson that I'm trying to give him. So that way he can be a better athlete himself.
Yeah. Cool.
As a nationally recognized Black head coach in California, what has that journey been like for you, and what does that responsibility mean both within your program and beyond?
I mean, that's a loaded question because, as you guys know, being Black is a little bit rough, especially in a sport that's dominated by predominantly coaches that aren't us. If that makes any sense. So, I tell you, like an issue that I'm having right now. We have a track meet. Rosary's girls is not in the training league anymore, and so we're in a different conference in the PCL Pacific Coast Conference, where we're with a lot of teams out of the city of Irvine. And with that being said, our league finals, they wanted us to move up to the better half of the league because there's two different leagues in the PCL, and they moved us up. But I said, hey, I will agree to move up if you guys put our league finals on a Thursday instead of a Friday, because Servite's league finals are on a Friday. And they adopted that into the Constitution. They adopted that into the rules. But now that it's competition time, league finals time, they kept the meet on a Friday.
Oh my God!
And so now, and so now I'm going back and forth with the coaches on Friday because they want us to cover the triple jump or whatnot, whatever have you that I'd agreed to. But I'm like, my triple jump coach wasn't able to be there because the meet was supposed to be on a Thursday.
Yeah.
And so it's like an uphill battle fighting with coaches, if you know what I mean. If you guys know what the undertones where I'm getting at, to where I feel like it's stacked up against me.
Yeah.
To move the meet based upon what everyone agreed to, just because they want to do it the way that they want to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so when you say, being a Black coach in a sport, at times it's rough. There's obstacles that we go through. But I think at the end of the day, if we keep the main thing, which is the kids, I think we'll all do what we have to do to make it work for them. As a responsibility, being a Black male from a responsibility standpoint, like I feel I owe it to the kids that I coach, help them get to the next level of their lives. I grew up with that. My dad wasn't necessarily in my household the whole time, but I feel the duty is to help younger Black men to kind of understand what it means to be an athlete, what it means to be a student, what it means to be a person, and and kind of share with them some of the trials that I've had to go through to get to where I needed to be. And so it's a constant lesson to teach and a lesson to learn, because I'm still learning a lot as a coach and as a person, as a human being. But to be in a position where I can teach them and educate them from my experiences to help them get to the next level of their lives. Yeah. And you guys have all done the same thing. Like I know, Lonnie, you were at Golden Valley?
Golden Valley.
Golden Valley, you're at Cathedral, where you're in a position to mentor and coach young men. Anthony, I'm pretty sure you did the same. Will, I know you do the same right now. Yeah. And so it's a responsibility to help the next one get to where they need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I
Absolutely.
mean, you definitely got to stay on your P's and Q's and make sure you, everything's got to be politically correct for the most part. And
Uh-huh.
you got to sometimes, like, for lack of better words, play the game. It's
For
crazy.
sure.
It's
For sure.
crazy.
You got to play the game. You got to learn how to play the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Just can't.
Yeah, that's shady though. That's real shady.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it is. I think it is. Yeah, I think it's a little shady. I think it's a little shady. Or
Mm-hmm.
it has the appearance of being shady.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Hey, good.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Ed.
No, you good.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna ask you our next question. So Coach, congratulations! Last year, you guys won the California State title, and you earned Coach of the Year honors. So that's like crazy impressive. What were the key ingredients that made that breakthrough possible last year?
The development of the kids. I mean, we did it with a young group. We did it with 4 freshmen and 2 sophomores.
Mm-hmm.
And so the kid that we had that was already in the program, we had Robert Gardner, who was a returning sophomore last year. Came into the program with a lot of upside, huge potential. He ended up going, I think, 21-12 and then 10-56. So he was the mainstay in the program. But the kids that we added to it, like we added Jalen Hunter. And then once I got him, it attracted a young man by the name of Camille Palabello. And then after those two decided that they were going to come to Servite, the Wells twins decided to come as well, Jordan and Jace Wells. So the development of those young men with the leadership of Ben Harris kind of created a young juggernaut program.
Mm-hmm.
And all those kids came together. All of them developed. All of them was willing to work hard for what the main goal was. And I didn't really think we were in a position to win a state championship until we got to Masters. And after we finished Masters, I was like, wait a minute. And you start looking at, all of the other sections.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think anyone can match up with what we have.
Mm-hmm.
And if we get lucky,
Mm-hmm.
I think we could win one. I thought we could win the 4x1 because we were the heavy favorite in that. The 4x4, we had a lot of success early in the season with Arcadia to run a good time to where I felt like we could either win it or come top 2 or 3. And then with Ben Harris's finishing the season in 100, getting would have been Ben got second in 100 meters.
Yep.
That was huge for us because he had a hamstring injury the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season. Mm-hmm. And so all he did was just bounding and ankling or dribbles for like 2 weeks. That's all we were able to do just to get through the weeks. So that way he can compete at Masters and then he can compete at state. And then development of Jace Wells.
Yeah.
And Jordan Wells. Jace Wells ended up running 21:03 at state, which was he was the national freshman leader in the 200, and then broke the California state freshman record in the 200 in the same race. So his development came through, and then Jordan ended up going 10:47 as a freshman, fastest freshman in the state of California. So those kids all developed. They all worked hard. And it was like at the point to where we got the Masters where I felt like, damn, I think we could really win it. I think we could win a state title.
Yeah. Hey, I remember Lonnie. So Lonnie was like Lonnie follows like the youth track like a lot, like highly, which I don't really follow it as much. So I remember Lonnie would be like, "Yo, man, they got this like seventh grade kid, 8th grade kid, Jalen Hunter, Compton Electric Speed. He's running crazy fast, blah 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 blah." It's like it was impressive, like individually of all the kids what they were doing, but then when he was telling me, "Oh yeah, they going to Servite. This was going. I was like,
that was crazy.
Like, bro, they forming a super team. It's like all these like talented youth athletes come together. So that was like dope to see it from the outside, just knowing the little bit that like Lonnie was fill me in on. So seeing that come together was like crazy impressive.
And even with Jalen Hunter, I forgot. I don't even know how I forgot to mention Jalen Hunter in that conversation. But he finished in the 400 as a freshman. Mm-hmm. And so like we're loaded with talent. We may add another couple of freshmen into next year, where they have a ton of potential. So right now on talent, we're loaded. And when you get a group of kids, they all knew each other when they ran youth track. Like Jalen ran with Camille. Benjamin Harris and Robert Gardner ran together when they with the Panthers, I believe, when they were kids. Mm-hmm. And then you get Jordan and Jace. They ran for Long Beach Sprinters. I felt like they had an untapped talent potential. Yeah. And so when I saw them run as 8th graders, I was like, damn, if those kids actually ended up on Servite's campus, I said, I think we can have a great run because I saw a lot of potential in all those guys. And then when you get Ben Harris just shows up on your doorstep, because I had nothing to do with him coming to Servite. It was a football thing where something happened at Poly. Like I don't know exactly what happened, but I got word that I'm a part of the admissions teams at Servite as well, right? And so I got word that there's like, hey, coach, we have a track football kid that we want you to do a tour for. And I was like, okay, no problem. Just tell me what day. And they told me the date. And I was like, who's the kid? And they was like, Ben Harris. I was like, wait, Ben Harris? Ben Harris? Oh, Ben Harris? And it was like, yeah, it's Ben Harris. We thought you'd like that one. And then so I gave him a campus tour. Ended up being real that he showed that there was a serious interest of him coming to Servite. And so it's like the perfect storm, the perfect recipe of kids at the perfect time. I feel like we have a great coaching. You guys know I have John Gilmer on my staff. I got a really good long jump coach, and what's my I don't know why I can't think of it. I'm tripping right now. Armand Gray is my long jump coach. He's doing a good job with my jumpers. You got Jamie Sandoval, which is my hurdles coach. He did a good job with Blaze Burwell last year. Ended up transferring to Edison. I got my distance coach, Randy. He's in the process of building like the freshman team that we had last year for the sprints. Maybe getting a freshman team like that next year in distance coming in. So, so we have a good group of coaches. Hopefully, I missed a few. Coach Cab, my throws coach. It's like the perfect storm. Good athletes, good coaching. They all want to win. They all want to create their own legendary status within Southern California, within the country. So we're in a good position to do really well for like the next 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8 years. On the Rosary,
how you went on that run 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I like that.
And Rosary's ridiculous. So Rosary started out with, and that's how I got John Gilmer to be the sprints coach of Rosary. I told John I met him. Demetrius introduced me to him because he was working with his daughter Justine and Janelle, and he says, "Hey B, like if you want Rosary to take off, like you gotta consider getting John there because I think John can help attract a lot of the young ladies." And so I went to go meet John at Fullerton College at a practice one day, and I was like, "Hey John, like my name is Brandon." The whole story is like, "Hey, if I'm ever able to be the head coach at Rosary, like I want to bring you on because I feel the girls need someone that's dedicated to them as I am dedicated to the sprinters at Servite." The problem with me doing both is that Rosary comes in a little bit later because their school is about 15 minutes away from Servite. So by the time they get there, I'm dead in the middle of training the boys. And then I feel like the warm up and the drill portion of the workout is probably one of the most important parts of the whole workout. And I always miss that part. Like I'll have them do the drills to the side. And then when they get to the workout, it's time to execute the workouts. But they were missing the part of me that was the most important part, which is the drills and the warm up. So I told John, I was like, hey, like I need someone that I felt that is as good as me or better than me to help the girls and be totally focused on the girls. And so when I got the job, I called John. I was like, hey, I got the job. Are you interested? And he was like, yeah, I'll be interested. And then he came over. He came over like maybe like 1 or 2 days a week at the time. And then he was like, you know what, B, I think we got a little bit of things. I think we got something working here. I think we can make something really great on the girls side. I was like, I know. That's why I brought you on board. And so it started with Demetrius's daughter, Justine, and Janelle. They came over. And then in addition to that, we already had maybe like a core of 5 girls who had some talent, we felt like we could develop over the summer to make a huge impact. And so we went from a 4x1 that ran like 54, 55 seconds to developing these core girls, and they ended up going like a 47, 48. And then Justine came the next year. Like I think we tapped 47 low, and maybe I don't know if we went 46 high with that group, but I know we tapped a 47 low. And then to get the girls that we have now, which is Travia, Flournoy, Malia Collins, and that's just taking Rosary to a whole nother level. As you guys know, they broke the state record in the 4x1. Not to mention the freshmen, we have like another 8 or 9 really good freshmen coming in next year. That's going to add to that bunch. So Rosary's going to be loaded for a while.
Yeah, I was talking to Demetrius. He was telling me about that. He said next year it's going to be crazy. The class y'all got coming in.
Oh, Will's gonna be crazy, crazy. It's gonna be crazy. And I think a lot of the other schools are losing some of their top talent, like Calabasas, which we're going back and forth with,
Yeah.
which is a lot of girls that ran for Demetrius's Black Lightning team. So we know a lot of those girls. So it's a friendly rivalry. But I think they're losing like two of their top dogs.
Yeah.
While we're losing Justine, Travia and Malia are going to continue to develop. We get Demetrius's younger daughter, Jasmine, who ran 1196 as a sixth grader.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the talent pool which we're working from right now is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Love it.
So talking about Coach John, can you explain to us, because I think I've seen a shirt you guys posted at Texas Tech. It said something like we're two schools but one team or something like that. So
we're two schools, one team. So Servite and Rosary are brother and sister school. Right. And so every meet we do together. When we travel together. We practice almost at the same time. And so for us, it's just one family. It's two different schools, Rosary Academy and Servite, but we're still one team. Like we do it all together. And you guys all know John. John's a hell of a guy, man.
Yeah. He's
selfless. He does whatever needs to be done. He's not necessarily the guy that needs to be at the front, front of the show. I'm not either. It's rarely that you'll see me at the meet. You'll see me hiding somewhere. Watching all the races, but what he does and what he brings to the team and what he does for our team is kind of unmatched. Like I said, he's selfless. He works hard. Doesn't miss a workout. He goes hard for the kids. He's smart. He's a great coach, a great sprint coach. So I feel that our boys and girls in a position where they're, like I said, I feel like they're getting the best coaching from, definitely on the sprint side, from John and I. And John is he focuses on the girls, I focuses on the guys, but there's some times where, I may see something, I may add a little bit on the girls side, and then he sees something on the boys. He may say, hey, you want to try this with the guys, and we kind of share information. And then in addition to that, we both, we do the relays. We do the relays together. 4 eyes is definitely better than 2. And so we go hard together, man. We go hard. And I think it's a tough combo to match when you're looking at other schools' coaching staffs compared to what we have.
I love that. I love that you say that, and you mentioned the camaraderie that you guys have, because I've had staffs where things didn't really go so well with coaches, and I've had to relieve coaches of their duty or remove myself from that situation. So that's pretty cool that you guys always have input, share information, and are willing to make one another better. And from what you say is also great, that there's no one that really has to be out in front, and have to take the lead and blah blah blah. It's really cool that you're doing it for the athletes, both the Rosary girls and the Servite boys. So that's commendable to you. That's awesome.
And like I said, John's doing a great job, but like at the end of the day, the main thing is always the main thing, and the main thing is the success and development of the kids. So both of us don't have an ego. I mean, and we talked a ton a lot. Will, we talked a ton. Lonnie, we talked a ton.
Right.
And you guys know from my standpoint and John's standpoint, like both of us, we don't have an ego. We just want what's best for the kids.
Hey, I was telling the guys, I didn't know if they had saw it or not, but I think you posted last week. You guys were at practice, and I believe you had the camera, and John was in the middle of coaches, but John didn't know you had the camera, and then he burped in the middle of it, and you was like, "Man, you just burped in the middle of my video." That was hilarious.
I was trying to catch him in the moment. I was trying to catch him in the coaching moment.
Yeah, he's like,
with these new meta glasses, man. This dude going burp in the middle of
big head down, blah blah blah.
Yeah. One of the things I can appreciate. I'm sorry. One of the things I can appreciate. I actually didn't think about it until just hearing you speak about the two of you working together. But one of the things I can appreciate about you two and the work you're doing for the kids and how you're being leaders, but like you said, you kind of like hide in the cut and let the work speak for itself. Y'all killing it. Y'all both, together, collectively, y'all killing it, like statewide, nationally, et cetera. But y'all now loud, rah, got to be out for everybody to see you while the kids are going off doing their thing. So I never even thought about that till now, but like I respect it even more,
You'll rarely see me at a meet. You'll rarely see me, walking back and forth with the kids. During race time, I usually stand right next to the press box at Arcadia at Mount Sac, like I'm against the rails, like in a hidden spot. John is the same. We stand next to each other at the meet. So yeah, we let the kids do all the talking. I mean, it's their show. They worked hard for it. I don't need to be in there, like what like Suge Knight says, like all in the video.
But like how I mentioned to you when I talked to you, I believe last week or so, I enjoy and I like the development because I look down. You know, if you're on athletic.net or you're on Mousesplit, I look down. I don't always look at the top. I'm looking at, all right, who's being developed? Like who's being developed on the jump side? Who's being developed on the distance side? Where's the future at? How long? So when you're saying 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, I see that because I'm looking at the depth. You know, you can convert guys to hurdlers. You can make them second tier. If they're second tier sprinters, then they're jumpers, you know, or whatever the case may be. You find that event for that athlete, not just, you know, fall in love with the sexy events as far as the 100 and 200 and blah, blah, blah. You got to fill in those slots. And as long as you guys are making them athletes, you know, and helping them become better athletes, I'll say that, or faster, then you fill in those holes and those gaps. So I see the growth in the 800. I see the growth in the distance events and in the jumps and the hurdles too. I love that. I love that on both programs. Like I love that.
We're getting better. I feel like we need to attract more athletes, like from like a long jump hurdle standpoint. I think those are areas of growth that can take us to another level from a total team standpoint.
Yeah.
Like for example, we lost to Notre Dame in the CIF last year, where they scored 100. I think they scored 104 points. They're loaded in each event. Like they got 3 or 4 dudes in long jump
all the time.
Shot put, disc.
Yeah, they're a complete team.
Pole ball, like you name it, they got 2 or 3 dudes scoring, and we scored 102.5 points.
Still
Lost by 2.5 points, and I made a mistake. I don't even know what I was thinking because I could have. Jordan Wells got hurt for the 200, so he didn't run the 200 at CIF. I should have just had him just jog
and get the 1 point,
just to get that 1 point, which would set us up better for the 4x4 at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking
that D3 is no joke. Division 3 is no joke.
Yeah, Division 3 is no joke for sure.
Right.
Yeah, I did want to say I was like waiting for an opportunity to put this in, didn't know what I was gonna say, but to to echo Lonnie's point, I've noticed this year, and I don't know how long it's been in the works, but I'm looking at, like, my background's mostly field events, so I'm looking at what you guys are doing, and I see you guys building, and it's a lot of like developmental athletes, but I see you guys coming up, but I see you guys. From my view, it looks like you guys are trying to grow into a complete program, you know, because I can see the athletes coming up in these different event areas. So I wanted to make sure that at some point to give you props for that because I see what y'all doing.
I appreciate you. I mean, obviously, the sprints is heading both programs. I mean, that's where we're doing the damage at. But the growth and like the long jump and the jumps is what we strive to be better at. If we can put all the two together, like the distance jumps, I think we would be a hard team for any school to handle, really. If we can get all that together at one time, like we would be a formidable opponent for any school to handle.
No doubt.
And I want to say this because you mentioned it too, Lonnie, that if you go on athletic.net and you look at our kids and you look at them from year to year, majority of all of our kids are improving on a year-to-year basis. I mean, you can take my least talented kid on my roster, and you can see that this guy, like a couple of years ago, a perfect case in point, I had a kid named Alex Gamowski. I don't know if you guys remember him. The year after Max graduated, class of 2022, 2023, Alex Gamowski was CIF champ in 100 and 200. But he came to my program running 12 seconds.
Yeah, wow.
And then I think he ran like 23 or 24 in the 200. I mean, we was going to athletic.net and look, but he ended up being CIF champ. I mean, granted, it was a weak year in Division 3 that year, but to take a kid from 12 seconds to get him to 1161 or 1159, I mean, 1061 or 1059, it goes to show you that we are having fun and developing our kids and having fun of helping kids get to the next level. He ended up going to UC Irvine.
I'm glad you touched on that because, like, to me, that's big. Like, I hear a lot of coaches say, hey, you know, I got this fast kid, but I always go back to, okay, it's sometimes you just get a fast kid. Sometimes you get somebody and they came in running 10.5. But I like to hear those stories where, hey, no, this kid was running 12.3, 12.4, and now he running, 10.5, stuff like that. So I'm glad you touched on that. And it shows that, I don't want just a fat kids. Like, we develop here. Like, you can come here and we're gonna get you to whatever your goal is and your potential. So I'm glad that you touched on that.
The development is the name of the game because Ben Harris ain't gonna walk onto your doorstep every day, man. Every year,
No.
you're gonna need to do something with those other kids, and I think that's what we experienced or we got from Jason Jordan Wells. Like they came in and developed. We went from 11-2 to a 10-47 in 1 year. You know what I'm saying? Jason went from a 22-6 to a 21-03 in 1 year, and so we take pride in the way that we coach and develop our athletes.
Hey, can we speak on that for a second? Like with regard to training, like I believe your philosophy is short to long, but can you speak on that a little bit?
I think it's dependent on the kid. There's some kids that may benefit more from a short to long. Like we had to do that with Ben Harris this season. He came back from he had an ankle injury in the last football game of the season against Centennial where he got tackled. And then at the end of the pile, someone twisted his ankle and damaged a few of his ligaments. So he was down from November, December. I had 2 weeks to get him ready we went to Texas Tech. And so with being where we were in the season, I had to go through a short to long approach with him to get him ready. But there's some of my guys need to run a little bit, like they need a little bit more fitness to get ready. So depending on the athlete is dependent upon how I'm going to coach them. We did something different with Jalen Hunter this year. He's recovering from a hamstring injury right now as we speak, but I went short to long with him also. I felt like he needed more speed. We needed more foot speed. He naturally has the fitness to finish a race. So I think he opened up this year 3 or 4 weeks ago at Mount Carmel with the 46.55, like off the back beginning of the season. So depending on the athlete would depend on whether I get them more of like a short to long approach or start off with more fitness.
So you guys individualize based on that. That's pretty dope. Because a lot of coaches be like, we got too many kids. We one fit all. But I like hearing that. I like hearing that.
Yeah, for sure. And then you add to it like my son's experience. He's hot in the fire right now. It's been my last track meet was 1998. The last time I trained was 1999. And so with my son being in the fire, he knows how those workouts feel. He knows how 300 should feel. He knows how 150 should feel and look. And so, I give him he has a ton of input on what we do. I say, hey, we'll meet every Sunday. I give him my idea of what we should do for a week. He gives me his ideas of what we should do for the week. We marry the two and go back and forth. And we may even change. Like I may come into Monday with one game plan and seeing how the guys look and feel, I may have to change game plans. So we go back and forth, and his input has been huge on the way that we're coaching our athletes this year as well. And he's putting
how instrumental has he been in the 4x1? Like is he in that? Is he helping with that? Is he helping with the baton passes and just coaching up in those areas?
He hasn't necessarily been there for any of those workouts as of now, but he has a huge input with the legs that we run and how we run it.
Okay.
I think we both have an idea of what would be our best 4x1. But we gotta let the kids kind of decide which way they want, because I feel that the more vested they are into the relay, the better we'll be. And so we gotta give the kids a big input on how we're going to run the 4x1 this year. And I mean, they've already gone 39.70. Yeah. And we haven't even gotten to state yet, so who knows what that's going to look like.
Right. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. I think that's the scary part is they went 39.7 and they're still young. Like, so it's so much time. It's like, it's no rush.
No rush. Yeah. No rush, dog. No rush. And they're only going to get better. I mean, from this year to next year, they're only going to get better. You know what I'm saying? I'm fired up with where we are and where we could be.
So I like how, you guys jumped out there. You mentioned you guys went to Texas Tech earlier this year, and then you went to Blue Bonnet, here in Houston at Texas A&M. And then you took some of the athletes went to Nike Indoor Nationals. What is that willingness to go, seek out the top competition in the country? What does that say about your program philosophy? Like, y'all about that business? You want the smoke? Like, what is it about Servite?
I'm a competitor. We want to smoke. We want to go where all the competitions at. I know you guys all know Danny McCray.
Yeah.
Yep. Really good friend of mine. We trained together when I was at UCLA as an athlete. He was training with John Smith as a pro. I was still a collegiate at the time. And so with him getting back into coaching, we kind of collaborate on where the heat is going to be. So I'll call Danny and be like, hey, where's it going to be at this year, man? Is it going to be at Texas Relays? Is it going to be at the Blue Bonnet? Is it going to be at Rice?
Okay.
Tell me where to bring my boys, because we'll show up. And he was like, B, this year, like this past season, like you got to go to Texas Tech. and you got to go to the Blue Bonnet meet. Everyone in Texas is going to be at the Blue Bonnet. And so if you want to smoke, that's where you need to be. So, my kids embrace wanting to be competitive. They embrace wanting to smoke. And just as a team philosophy, we just want to go where the competition is at, Luckily for us, we went to Texas Tech. We did really well. Jordan Wells went 666 at Texas Tech. Beautiful place to run. I don't know if you guys have all been there. I think you've been there, right?
Yep, both years. Yep, both years. That's when I found out. That's when I found out you and Danny was was friends.
Of course. Yeah. So, we had a good meet that meet. I think Jalen ran indoor 47 low. Jace Wills went 20.99 indoor and won the 200 meet. And so wherever the competition is at, I'm willing to go because I want our boys to compete at their best. The Blue Bonnet meet was a fun meet to go to because we've been hearing from Texas, as you guys know, every week. Like they're on our kids' social media pages all the time, talking a lot, in which we kind of embraced that a little bit. But we went out there, we had a really good showing, did really well, and came back knowing that our boys came back knowing that we can compete with the best in Texas. You know what I mean? We can go have some fun, we can put up some good numbers, and say that we're just as good as what Texas has to offer as well.
Now, I attended that meet. I didn't get a chance to see you. However, I was there. Yeah, I was at the Blue Bonnet. I was on the first day. I was on the first day. Okay. I was just up top, just watching and everything. And I like the atmosphere. I think it was a really good meet. There were a lot of quality things happening there, like in the relays and individual events and stuff. However, the atmosphere wasn't electric. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not Arcadia. It wasn't Arcadia.
It was not Arcadia. And so I'm looking at like, why are we not under the lights? Why is it so many heats? Why is it seems like everyone was invited to the meet.
Right.
And I don't think it highlighted everyone who really did well that day or over those 2 days. You know, so I think there should be another meet where Cali and Texas come together and say, hey, let's just go for it and put it in a dual meet. You get your best and we get our best. And I'm gonna say we still Cali. I'm still Cali all day. However, but I honestly, like, it was a great venue. The wind was kind of crazy, but I like the warm up area. I like all of that different type of stuff. It was great. Well ran meet as well. But I was thinking I was going to be watching something similar to Arcadia. What you think?
My expectation was the same as yours, and I think with what you're saying, I agree with. Like for those who have been to Arcadia is an electric meet. You know what I mean? They highlight the good races. They have really good announcers. The crowd is excited for like the 100, the 4x1, the 4x4. For the 4x4 this past year at Arcadia, we had to scratch because Jalen Hunter was hurt. But when the crowd said, Bullis was there, but when the crowd said, and Servite had the scratch, like the whole crowd said, at the same time, like, oh, were you there for that, Will?
Yeah. So your boys were sitting right next to me in the stands at that point. And we were definitely disappointed because, we were disappointed because we wanted to see that show. But I was like, they ran a hell of a lot.
We've been waiting for that race. We've been waiting. Since I knew that Quincy was going to be there, like we were waiting for that matchup. Unfortunately, Jalen Hunter hurt himself in the 4x2. And for me, running against Quincy would have been dope. Yeah. But winning state is doper. You know what I'm saying? And so I need to bless him to get him ready for obviously a state run. But going back to what you said, Lonnie, like I did think there was going to be a little bit more electricity to me from highlighting the best event standpoint, like from getting the major matchups there. Yeah. But I will say that the anticipation for us running against the Texas squads in the 4x2 and the 4x1 was the matchup, and that's what we were excited for that. That's what we needed to get fired up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, which one would you say has been your favorite? Is it Texas Relays, the Blue Bonnet, or Texas Tech? Out of those three,
and Texas Tech is a good indoor meet. I think the best meet out of those three, if I had to choose, is probably the Blue Bonnet because all of Texas is there. I mean, there's like we're not hiding from nobody. Like they can't say, well, all of our teams from Texas wasn't there. Like at Texas Tech, they're like, well, you run against teams, but all of Texas isn't here. When you go to Texas Relays, they start their district championship, so all the Texas teams aren't there. So they would say, like last year the year before we went to Texas Relays. They're like, well, you guys did well, but Duncanville wasn't there. Atascocita wasn't there. All those other good teams weren't there. And so I said, Daddy, where do we need to be? He said, you need to be at the Bluebonnet. And so at the Bluebonnet, we kind of showed up, and like I said, we had a couple of really good races.
So, I mean, basically, you just going to say, come in your trap, take over your trap.
I've never seen a stadium get so quiet after we ran a 4x2, dog. They was talking so much smack. So it was fun to see our boys go out there and compete and do really well.
Yeah. And I'm actually glad y'all came out because Coach Tim, who coaches with Danny, we talk almost every day. So we always going back of that Texas and California. So I'm like, okay, hey, Servite, we about to show y'all, and Rosary about to show y'all how we do in Cali, and also I like the fact that y'all travel because you guys put the light on the kids. I think a lot of coaches don't understand that these college coaches want to see how you do outside of where you actually run on an everyday basis. So taking them out to Texas, taking them to Nike and stuff like that. I'm tired of seeing schools go to these meets that no one showed up to, and not going to, these Texas, Florida meets and stuff like that. So that's dope.
I think next year on our schedule, we probably won't go to Bluebonnet next year, but we're going to go to Florida Relays next year. Yeah. We're going to do Nike again. We may do Adidas, the Adidas indoor meet. Actually, we're going to do the VA showcase next year.
Okay.
So that'll be hot for us to go indoor.
Okay.
Yeah,
you can't just skip over that. You gotta explain how you were able to do the VA showcase because I know I've tried to do it the last 2 years and it was just impossible with the rules. But maybe with you guys being a private school, you guys able to do it.
No, we have the same CIF rules to be able to go. The problem is that the California doesn't sanction indoor season, and so we're not able to compete in the VA showcase as a high school. So what they're going to do this year is that they're going to build a club division more so than a high school division. So that way we can go out and compete against some of the country's best indoor, or the East Coast best indoor, or down South's best indoor, and that's the plan. So I know you guys had James Daniels on the show.
Yeah.
And so, me and James talked about it. He really wants us to go to the VA showcase, and he said he's going to do his best to try to make the club portion the highlight as opposed to the high school portion.
That's big.
I like that.
Love this.
That's another thing too. Like I appreciate you getting your kids the opportunity to compete indoors because like we've talked to coaches individually and collectively, and it's like that's something big that they want to see from like the West Coast kids. They want to see them competing against the best. They want to see them competing indoors. We don't do that here, competing indoors. So it's like it's kind of hard with recruiting to like if you got a kid who's like from Texas or down south who's really good outdoors, done a whole bunch indoors. It's hard to recruit this kid from California who's only run in California, never ran indoors, just ran against the best people in the state, but not the best people nationally. It's like two things aren't even. You don't know what you're going to get. So in most cases, they're going to go with this kid who's got the overall experience. So, yeah, we appreciate you giving your kids the best of both worlds and giving that exposure, for the coaches to see as well.
Yeah, I think that when you have a team like ours, when you have so much talent, I think we have to chase those meets. I think we have to go there because obviously California, they get excited about us competing. But I think we should put our kids in a situation, like you said, where they are in the spotlight, where they're going to Texas, they're going to Florida, they're going to Virginia. So that way everyone can kind of see what the talent that we have, and they can put themselves on the map a little bit more. I think they deserve those opportunities.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, so I'm wearing my Illinois gear, in honor of this next one. So I'm very happy to see and say that Justine Wilson, the one you said kicked off the situation at Rosary, she's going to the school where my daughter's going right now, University of Illinois. So Justine, what makes her special and what excites you about her future at Illinois?
Man, if you guys have all had a conversation with Justine, you would know she has a bubbling personality, probably one of the sweetest kids that you ever meet. I had a conversation with her right before she committed to Illinois that we both kind of had like a teary-eyed conversation. We were talking, she had choices to go between Michigan, Baylor, Illinois, Arkansas, and Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Kentucky would be the best fit for her because I kind of watched their work, and I think they do a good job of developing young athletes.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't necessarily selling Kentucky to her,
Mm-hmm.
but I said if I had a pick, like that's where I would send my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
But she was like, you know what, Coach Brandon, like I feel that Illinois felt like home for me. She's like, I love my recruiting trip. I felt like I had a tighter bond with the coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I know they're not good now, but I have the opportunity to be a part of something like we just did at Rosary, to build something almost from scratch. And then after her selling me on Illinois, I was like, Justine, I think you already have your decision made. I think you already know what you want to do. And she's like, you know what, Coach Brandon, I think I do have my decision made. I think I know where I want to go. And then after that conversation, like we had a moment to where I was like, Justine, like not too often, a kid comes to a program and leaves it better than the way they found it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when she came to Rosary, we didn't have too much, but she's leaving it like with we got the California state record in the 4x1. We have a ton of talent there, and that was built off her back. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Justine came where we were bare bones.
Mm-hmm.
And so she trusted John, she trusted myself that we'll help her get to the next level. And then and in turn, she's built one of the top programs in the country on the girls' side.
Mm-hmm.
Her teammates love her, and so we have she built a strong culture. As girls, learning how to be teammates with one another. And like our program is overall better because of Justine Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Before we move on, I got to clarify something because she said, I know they're not good in the sprints. I got to clarify that for Illinois. They just finished third at nationals, so yeah.
What I was trying to say is that, like when you compare Illinois to the likes of like Arkansas, no, Illinois isn't there yet, but I'm to be a part of something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Illinois they're cooking over there. They got some stuff cooking there. If you're not paying attention, they're going to be good because what's the head coach's name again? I don't know. I can't think of it right now.
Coach Petros. Yeah,
he was cooking at Georgia.
Yeah, 2 national championships.
You know what I'm saying? He was cooking at Georgia, and so to go to Illinois to start something brand new again, and once you blink, Illinois is going to be back at the top for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it's funny too because a lot of people don't understand is Justine and Keelan are friends, and Justine, I don't know how she did it or how the conversation went, but I know sometimes it's hard for me to get Keelan to make a decision or do certain things. But a lot of people don't realize like we were very, very close to being at Rosary.
Imagine that.
In that relationship. A lot of people don't know that, but it was very close.
Man, can you imagine how that would have looked last year?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Like if we had a Keelan on our roster with Justine, with Malia, with Travia. You had a Keelan right to that program, man. We would have set everything on fire.
I think that was after her sophomore year. I think we're talking after her sophomore year about making that. It was just the drive.
But that would have been Lancaster before Lancaster. Like we would have went to Texas to go compete against Lancaster with that lineup.
There you go.
Yeah, that would have been monstrous. That would have been monstrous.
I like that.
So the Wells twins, they seem to burst out onto the scene early. When did you realize they were special, and what do you think separates them from other athletes?
Oh man, the first time I saw them, I knew they could be special. I saw them at a youth meet at Cerritos College, and when I saw them run, I was like, I think these dudes I think they kind of have what it takes. I think they're going to be really good, and I knew that they could be special at that point. And then obviously they're football players, and so when football ended, and track came, like I saw how hard they work. They listen very well. Their parents are heavily involved, and parents are really good parents. They have a good package, just like all of our kids have. I mean, we have good kids, good parents. All of our parents are really good. But when I think Jordan opened up his freshman year at Santa Margarita, freshman of the season, he ran 10.66 and broke the track record. I was like, oh, we cooking. Super special. This group is going to do something super special. And then Jace was like a late bloomer to his freshman year. Like we're trying to get a feel for him. We're trying to see how good he can run 100 in, how good he can run a 200 in, and then the 400. We just didn't get a really good feel for him until I think his breakout performance was at Arcadia in the 4x4 when he ran an amazing third leg on a 4x4, and then that kind of spilled over into because he wasn't on the 4x1 his freshman year. And so that performance kind of carried him into CIF prelims. And our prelims out of the blue, he just went 21-3. Well, he was going like 22s the whole year. And then out of the blue, he goes 21-3. And then at state, he didn't have at CIF finals, he didn't have a great CIF performance, but he qualified for Masters. And then at Masters, he wasn't even in the first heat. He was in the second heat. And he goes 21-05. Out of the blue.
Wow, yeah.
So I can't say that I was expecting that. Obviously, we was monitoring his development, but I think CIF prelims and Masters was his breakout performances, which he made a state final in the 200. And then this year, he's just blowing the covers off the doors, going 20.99 indoor. Last year, he ran like a 46 split in a 4x4. This year, I'm pretty sure he'll do the same thing, run a 46 low, maybe even a 45 split. Like those two boys, the Wells twins are definitely key components in what we're building and what we're trying to have for the next 2 years. Like those two boys are extremely special.
Yeah. Watching them.
Jordan, what's that? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You good.
Jordan he finished third at Nike Nationals. When you had a heat with Jake O'Day, you know what I'm saying? You had Dylan Mitchell, you had Tate. He beat Tate Taylor in the final. So we have a ton of potential at Servite, and obviously the Wells twins are a big part of that.
It's hard. It's hard, and I think me and Lonnie go back on this because I think Lonnie he'll go Ben, I'll go the twins, and it's tough to know like who is going to be it at state because they both feel like they all three of them, they just go at it so much. It's kind of like hard to I don't even know who to put my money on because it's tough because one day it's them, one day it's that's like
I'll tell you this. As much as I love all of my kids, state is going to have to go through Ben. Like you're going to have to knock Ben off, and he's not going to give it to you. You know what I mean? I know Jordan is coming. Jordan, he's fighting to be the top dog. He wants to be the top dog. And he challenges Ben in practice like we did. We did a 40-80 workout. And then Jordan was just dropping low times. You know what I mean? He was running faster than Ben in that workout. But when you get to competition day, like you got to knock off Ben. I think he's still yet to beat Ben. And I think he beat Ben in 100 meters at Bluebonnet. He ran 10:33. Ben ran 10:65 in the final because Ben was just getting his legs up under him. He did the 4x2, the 4x1, prelims 100. Finals of the 100 at Bluebonnet. He just had his legs up under him to finish that meet out. But he came back at what meet was that? What meet? I think it was the Tribuco Invitational, Tribuco's invite, where Ben, all of our boys lined it up. Ben, Jace, Camille Pelabello, and Jordan lined it up, and Ben won. And so through our team is going to have to go through Ben. Like you're going to have to knock off Ben to win a state title or to be the top on our team. And Jordan has a ton of talent. And I think Jordan can definitely be competitive, but I think it's going to go through Ben.
And so you lined this up perfectly. So with Ben, he's embraced this strong public persona, his confidence and bravado. And how do you cultivate that confidence while keeping like him and the rest of your athletes grounded?
I mean, keeping them grounded. They like I said, they all have good parenting. So all of those guys are extremely grounded. But when you get to like from a confidence standpoint, I don't think any kid is as confident as it comes when it comes to Ben. He told my son a couple of weeks ago, he told Max, I'll beat you. You know what I mean? Instead, he just dropped a 9.9. You know what I'm saying? He's confident that he could beat him in a race. And so when it comes to bravado and wearing on your chest, like Ben is that guy. He's confident, a smart kid. He's our undisputed team leader. Like I said, if you're going to get there, you're going to probably have to go through Ben. But I would say Jordan is coming. Jordan is definitely coming.
Okay. Yeah.
Can you give us like a snippet of like the competitive nature in practice with these guys? Like, give us like, if it's a any type of workout, honestly, like whatever it
Uh,
is, it can just give us an idea of like how the energy is and how especially if one of your athletes beat another athlete in a previous meet, what's
uh-huh.
that energy like on that following Monday or Tuesday in that workout? Like,
Oh man, I mean, you take perfect example, Blue Bonnet, right?
okay,
Jordan runs 10:33 in the final, gets third in the race,
hmm,
and then Ben runs 10:65 in the final, and
okay,
so Jordan is hyped. But all of a sudden, you get to practice, Ben gets quiet. He's like quiet for a couple of weeks. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? He's getting himself into shape. He's starting finishing workouts. He's going hard. So Ben is not shy to tell the other boys that I'm the top dog,
Mhm.
right? Jordan is not shy to say, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. You know what I'm saying? And then Jace and Ben have the rivalry in the 200. So Jace is like, no, Ben, I'm gonna beat you in the 200. And Ben's like, you're not gonna beat me. Ben drops to 20.77. You know what I'm saying? So practices are at times can be extremely competitive, especially when we do block starts,
Mhm.
especially when we do longer runs. Um, but I think meet day is when you see them ultra competitive. You know.
Mhm.
real quick, another athlete, or actually two, that we really haven't touched on too much today, Camille Palavello.
Uh huh.
He's really coming on, especially in the last couple of weeks.
Right.
And you mentioned Jalen, but like when they're involved in some of those, I'm pretty sure they probably don't do all the same workouts, but it may be
Uh huh.
something they do on some
Right.
days together. Like
Uh
when
huh.
they're bringing that more endurance type energy to the workout, how does that play out with all those guys?
Well, with those guys, with Camille I see him more as like a 1-2 guy. He
Okay.
has a ton of talent, and I think he has just about as much talent as anyone on our squad.
Hmm.
Um, but for Jace, Jalen, and Camille, we'll pretty much do the similar workouts. I'll just
Okay.
add maybe like 30, 40 meters onto their workouts so they can get a little bit more fitness. But I need Jalen to get the speed work. Like
Yeah.
I need him running with Ben and Jordan and Jason. We kind of did something a little bit different this year. That was my son's idea. And so we kind of put them in teams on different workouts. So sometimes I'll match Ben up with Jalen
Okay.
or with Jace or with Jordan, and we'll just split them up, split the guys up, and have them do like when we do our 200 repeats, or when we do our we have a killer workout that I got from Byron of Speed House, a
Mhm.
160, 160, 80.
Mhm.
Like we'll split those kids up in those workouts so they can kind of get a little bit from each other and help each other a little bit more. But what I've found by splitting them up, like they get competitive within their own right with their own workouts. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? And
Okay.
then I'll put the sprinters with the sprinters. I'll put the quarter milers with the quarter milers, and I'll change it. Put the four guys with the one guys. Like we have fun with it, and it
Yeah.
allows us to be more competitive.
Yeah.
It allowed Jaden like to get more speed work. It
Mhm.
allowed Ben to get a little bit more fitness. It allowed Jace to be competitive with Ben or Jalen in a workout. And so when we mix it up like that, like we're getting the best of everyone each and every workout.
Mhm.
Love that.
Yeah, like that.
Hmm.
Well, touching on your son Max Thomas just recently became the world leader in 100 meters, and you also are now a grandfather
Mhm.
at the same time. So, how have those moments shaped your perspective on family,
Uh-huh.
legacy, and success?
Man, when Max opened the season up, uh, okay, I'll take it back a step. With Max coaching us, he gives the kids a little bit of input. Sometimes he does his workouts at Servite so he can get his workout in. And seeing where he was before his daughter was born, you can see that he was already next level. You know, and then he had the birth of his daughter, in which it took him a month out of his training. So when he first got to Texas, he trained for a week. He had a good place to go to, and then they had the ice storm, and the
Mhm.
ice storm set him back 2 weeks because he couldn't go outside to train.
Mhm.
He didn't have the relationships with a lot of college teams or high school teams out there where he can get on their track. And so those 2 weeks he couldn't do too much, and then after that he was trying to get back into it. So he really went 4 weeks without competing. Opens up indoor with a six. I think he opened with like a 667, 668 or nine, and then he comes back the next week and goes I think 661, and then he qualifies for USATF and finishes fourth. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is going to cook, because without training for a month, taking a whole month out of his training, he goes 6.55 at USATF Nationals indoors on limited training. I was like, this dude's about to have a hell of a year, you know. And then he opens up. But before that, he gets invited to relay camp, to do the mixed relay camp. And so he makes the mixed relay camp, and he said, Dad, here's my goal. My goal is to get there to do the mixed relays, but I want to impress so much that I make the men's 4x1 team. And so if you guys all know my son, if you guys all had the opportunity to speak with him, like, his confidence is ridiculous. Yeah, he doesn't feel anyone can beat him. You know what I mean? Or if they beat him, he's like, you won't beat me again. I promise you won't beat me again. Like, that's his mentality. And so he gets to camp. They do the diagnosis where they analyze their mechanics, analyze their speed, analyze their 10 flies, and they do all of that fun stuff. And then he's testing better than anyone. So they pull him aside. It's like, they say, like, kid, we think you got some here. And this is like the practice before he runs the 990. And the analyst, he asked the analyst, like, what do you think I'll run, this weekend? The analyst, like, based upon your numbers, you should go about 9.9. Like, that's what you should open up with, right? And then first meet, he opens up 9.90. You know what I'm saying? And so he calls me after he runs it. I saw the race. Actually, we were at the Tribuco invite. The boys just ran 39.82, breaks California record, first California team to go sub 40. Yeah. And then I miss his race just because getting our kids warmed up, and I go to my car to try to find his race, see what he ran. He ends up calling me on the way to my car. He's like, Dad, like you see that? I was like, dog, that's like, I'm fired up. He tells me he runs 9.9. I'm trying to find the video to see the race. I walk back to camp where our kids are. The kids, it was already posted on TikTok that he went 9.90. And so the kids are hyped. You know what I'm saying? Fired up. It's a great day for the Thomas household. We break the 40 barrier. Max goes 9.9. And so when you're talking about legacy, Anthony, like, that does a lot for the legacy of Max, but it also does a lot for the legacy of Servite. So the boys can say, like, he came through the same program. And if this is what he's doing, like, they feel like, they can do the same thing, but things they feel like they could do it now. You know what I'm saying? So when you have Max a part of a program like that, and they see where he came from, they see that he did the same thing. For them, they believe that they can do the same. And now you add his daughter into the mix. Now he has something to work hard for. And so yes, it's a special time for Max. It's a special time for Servite, but for young Max, like, he's working for a lot, and then he feels that like, that I won't be denied. I work too hard for what I do to not run 9.9. You know what I mean? Yeah. To not make the men's relay, to not make a national team. So Max goes hard in the paint. He works hard. If you're able to see him work, you'll see that he works hard. I think he went 31.47 in the 300 this year. He went 14.5 in the practice in a 150. Whatever camp he goes to, he'll work hard to be the best person in that camp. You know what I'm saying? So the legend of Max Thomas is still growing.
There you go. Does he do any of his training there at Servite, like on your campus, or does he do that elsewhere, come to catch or to coach?
Yeah, sometime he'll, if he's not able to get a workout in at Mount Sac, he trains with JB, spring coach out of Mount Sac, who was at SC when they were all running those crazy times. He's not able to get a workout in there, then he'll come to Servite and get a workout in.
Is JB now the sprint coach for On?
JB is the sprint coach for On, correct. Correct. So he runs the On camp of sprinters. So any guy that signs with On, if they want, they'll go train with JB at Mount Sac College.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting scenario in itself, because obviously I'm a sprint coach. I feel like I'm one of the best ones out there. And a lot of people ask me all the time, like, why don't you train your son? Or when he goes to SC, are you gonna get involved? And I was like, no, I think my job is done. I think wherever he goes to go, whoever he coaches him, I feel that he needs to believe wholeheartedly that person is the Bible when it comes to track. You know what I mean? So I take a step back. I let the coaches do what they do. He may, every now and then, he may call. When he was at SC in the beginning, he may call and ask me about, Dad, what do you think about this workout? Is it going right? Is this working? I don't know if this is working. I was like, you need to call your coach. So he's responsible for your programming. And if you don't understand what he's saying, you can call me after and I can try to tell you what he's trying to accomplish from that workout. But your coach is your guy. You know what I'm saying? So I took 10 steps back to let him be coached by somebody else. And JB is doing an outstanding job with him. He had Carmelita Jeter his freshman year at SC. When he went 2067 indoor, she did an outstanding job with him. So my job as a parent now is just to be a parent and just to support them and take a big step back and let everyone do their job.
And all of us have all coached our own kids, and I'm sure like you're at ease, and it also heals a lot of wounds and friendly fire, that we cause as coaches and parents as well, like coaching our own kids. So I'm sure like you're really at ease, knowing that he's in a good space, he's trusting his coach, he's trusting his training, he's having success. Like we all want that, we all want that. So I'm sure you're loving that.
Yeah, that's all we want is for our kids to be successful at what they do, man.
That's amazing.
And it's easy to step back when they're uber successful. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, that previous message you just gave about just as a parent stepping back and letting the coaches coach. It's like that's going to be a clip because that's a word for a lot of parents out there. I'll tell you that right now.
Imagine that. Like parents that the coaches do what they do best. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I didn't tell the guys this. I kind of thought about this earlier today, and then I was writing down some things. But I just want to do like a quick word association with a few of your athletes on Rosary and Servite. And all you have to do is just say one word about the particular athlete that I name. It can just be about their character or who they are as a person or anything like that. So let me start with Malia Collins.
Dog. Certified dog.
Travia Flournoy.
Fierce. She's not scared of anything or anyone.
Gabrielle Mitchell.
Gigi Mitchell. Potential. She has a ton of potential. Pfeiffer Lee. Quiet sniper.
I see that because she's on that relay right now too.
Quiet. I didn't see her coming like that. I didn't see her coming. Quiet, but she will shoot you.
Jada Faison.
Oh man, she's special to me. How can I put her into one word? I've watched her since I've known her since she was 8 years old and been a big part of her life since she's been about 10. Transformer. She'll do whatever you need to do. She just jumped 1910. She'll hurdle for you. She'll do whatever needs to do. She was our third leg last year on a 4x1. And so she's a transformer in the team. Whatever we need her to do, she'll do.
Her sister, Amaya Faison.
What's a good term for her? Because for the most part, she's been under her twin sister's shadow. She made the state meet last year in the triple jump because her sister was hurt, was coming back from an ACL injury, and she made state in the triple jump. So she stepped into her own light last season. What's a good word for her? I would say she's competitive. Competitive, not that she's in her own, like walking her own, blazing her own trail.
Justine Wilson.
Special. She's a special person and a special athlete.
All right. And then I'm gonna cut over to the Servite side. Robert Gardner.
Oh man, one word to describe RJ. Hard worker. He works just about as hard as anyone else. You won't get too much from him out of practice. He's quiet at practice, but he will work his tail off every workout, every practice. Actually, I change it. Focus. He's focused. His word would be focused. Like every workout, everything, he's always focused.
Jalen Hunter.
He's a once in a lifetime talent, man. Uber talented.
Camille Palavello.
Uh, he's a different type of kid if you get to know him. Loud. I would say loud. If you've been to practice, you will hear his voice coming from the parking lot. If I yell at workout, he's yelling at his comments about his satisfaction of what the workout will be. When he runs well, he's going to let you know it. If you've seen some of his races from Tribuco, you'll see if he hits a time that he wants, he'll take a moment to rejoice and celebrate in that. But you will hear him no matter what. So loud will be his word.
Hey, that dude will take that jersey off too, real quick. He flexing and everything. Jace Wells.
Determined. Determined. He's determined to be the best in our group.
Mason Jameson.
Oh man, that's okay. Mason is a freshman, is experiencing a lot of success. I told our hurdles coach he's going to be a great one. I was like, he's going to be a good one. He's still small. He hasn't even had puberty yet. He's like 5'5", 5'6", but a monster. I would call him a young monster. He's a monster.
He cracked 40. He ran what, 39 the other day?
39. He just told me yesterday he's going to go 38 and make state. He said, Coach, I'm going to make state.
Go get it.
Young monster. He's in development. He's in his development stage.
Jordan Wells.
Jordan Wells, ultimate competitor. You know he's on when before the race he gets quiet. I'm like, Jordan, you ready? He's like, they don't know, coach. They don't know. They ain't ready. And he'll say it in like a quiet, deep whisper when he gets focused. So yeah, that's my word for that guy.
And then Ben Harris.
The ultimate dog. Probably captain. You know, I don't agree which way all the ways that he leads all the time, but he's the captain of that group. He's the leader of our team.
That's big. That's
boys and girls side. He's the big dog.
I like that. I like how the community hovers and not hovers, but like supports him too. Like the track community in LA, in Cali, like what did Ben do? Oh, Ben's about to run. Like they know it's gonna be a show, you know.
Ben's gonna put on a show.
Yeah.
He doesn't like to lose. He's gonna put on a show. I know going into the Arcadia race, I mean, you had Karan Clayton, who's having a hell of a season right now. Just ran 12 last week. I mean, you had him in the heat. You had the kid from Torrance in the heat. You guys know his name?
We were just talking about him the other day.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name off the top of my head. I've been saying his name for the last couple of weeks.
All I've been saying is the Torrance kid. The kid from Torrance.
I gotta be honest, he wasn't on my radar until Mount Sac last week when I saw him at 200. I was like,
Obemba.
Yeah.
Obemba's his name.
Yeah,
he was on my radar. He ran 10:20 last year at state. So he's been on my radar. So you got Obemba. You had the kid that ran 10:27 up north. And so going into that race, I said, Ben, you ready? He says, Coach, what? He said, they got to come beat me. I was like, they got to beat me. He said, I'm ready. They got to beat me. And then he won 100. He looked back, and the look on his face is that, like, I already knew I was going to win. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of what time I was going to run. You know, so yeah, Ben is that guy. Ben's a special guy. Like, I feel blessed in a sense that between the guys and girls side, that we have between the two, like maybe like 12 kids who can be legendary in the state of California. And I don't think any other team in the state or even in the country can say that they have the depth that we have from our teams on the Servite and Rosary side.
I love that.
Love that.
Man,
before you, I just want to let you know that, like, you know, we have had conversations before. First of all, did you finish your office?
I did. That's right. You did take a tour of it. I did finish it.
Okay.
So I added I got to do one more thing. Like two more things. I got to get a bookshelf. To put a bookshelf in the office. I got this nice sectional sofa that wraps a third of the office. I got the plastic. The flat screen was there when you were there, right?
No, you was painting when I was there.
That's right. The flat screen is there. I got a nice credenza in there. I got a nice desk, my computer. I got a big gigantic plant. The office is just about done. I just need a bookshelf and like a storage shelves for the closet area. But yeah, the office is done. When you guys get a chance, if you guys are ever near Servite, please take a tour. Please come to my office so I can get a picture of you guys holding the state trophy.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I'll be fired up for that. But yeah, the office is done. Office is complete.
I've been close to getting a state championship, but didn't quite get that. Anyway, at least 3 times been close, but
You've had some teams, man. You've had both Valley and Cathedral. You've had some teams, man.
Tried. So, Coach, being at a private school, I know there's a lot of chatter in regards to the emphasis that the football program may have on campus. Me being from or coaching at a private school for a short amount of time, like, what's that relationship been with the football program, the football coaches, perhaps maybe having use of the weight room and things like that? How's that been going for you there, Servite?
I mean, that's when you talk about football and track in today's age, it's always a touchy subject.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of football coaches who don't embrace the track culture, and then you have track coaches who, when it's track season, they don't want their kids doing any football. You know what I mean? And then you think of legendary programs like Long Beach Poly back in the day, Sarah back in the day. The football program and track program went hand in hand. All those guys that did football did track. All those guys that did track did football at that time. And so when we're talking about today's culture of football and 7-on-7 taking off and football guys want to be football guys, I think it's important that we do it together, that football and track do it together. The past couple of years, we had a football coach, really good guy. Nothing negative to say about him, but he was tasked with the challenge of building a football program in the Trinity League, in which we all know is not easy. Trinity League is number one conference in the country when it comes to high school football. So his focus was football. It wasn't necessarily track. I mean, he supported his guys running track, but football was his focus. He needed them to be focused on football in the spring and in the fall. But my relationship with him is that he allowed my top guys to just focus on track, and he kind of stepped away from everyone else who wasn't my quote unquote top guy. It's like, I still need those kids because I still need to develop and create a program, but your top 6 guys I'm not going to touch. Like, I'll leave those guys to you. Our new coach, Coach Rick, he's different. And so for him, my relationship with him is like, he is like, let's do this together. I've seen what you've been doing on the track. We know we need to build an outstanding football program here at Servite. Like, how do we tackle this together? And so we just had a young kid who wants to play football at Servite, an 8th grader. First thing that they did is they called me and said, "Hey, coach, are you able to come in on this visit for a football kid that wants to run track? Can you help us with this visit?" And so for me, that's telling me that he's embracing the track culture, and he wants to build something special through the track program that would help football. And for a track coach, all we ever want is just the support from the football program, right? Because we know if we can build a monster program, we'll attract speed. Football program needs speed. They need the speed, so it should be like an easy marriage. Right. But for some reason, like, there's a fight with football coaches not wanting their kids to run track when team speed is so important for football. You know what I'm saying? And then, Will, you brought up the weight room. The weight room is lucky for us. We have a gigantic weight room. I mean, if you ever seen our weight room, it's gigantic. We have about 18 platforms there. And so we have a strength conditioning coach as well on staff. And so everyone has their time slot. So the weight room has never really been a big issue for us when competing with the football program. But the challenge that we do face is that the football coaches, I'm not saying ours, but football coaches want their track guys to do the football lifts all the time.
Right, yeah.
It doesn't necessarily work for track kids. You know what I mean? So you have a guy doing, a heavy squat workout 2 days before we're going to run at Arcadia. Like, that's just not going to work. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's extremely important that the football coach and the track coach has some type of camaraderie to where they're able to do it together. And I think once football coaches understand how valuable the track program is, especially from a speed standpoint, I think you would see a better product on the football field. In my opinion.
No, I'm with that.
Yeah, I totally, I totally agree with that. Like you said, like you need fast guys. I can get them fast. So it's not even with the speed guys, even with offensive linemen, your defensive linemen, your linebackers,
Right.
just having them come out to run faster. And I find it funny too that there's so much pushback when you have these top coaches, the Nick Sabans, right, who has publicly said, "Hey, I want my football guy to be running this." And I feel like you can't fight with that. We talking about Nick Saban, so
You know what I'm saying?
so I
I
like.
think it's different though, because now the football coaches, the college coaches are saying, "What's your 100-meter time?" Like that's a new thing. I think that's a phenomenon which started like within like the last year and a half. Because before it was all 40s, but now they're only talking about what's your 100-meter time. You know what I mean? Like we need you to run 100 meters. So now I think there's a little bit more engagement with track from football guys saying that, okay, we need help in that standpoint. Like let's run track or let's do something a little bit different. You know what I mean?
I think one of the problems that I ran into, especially being at the public school when I was at Golden Valley, is like when the track program is the best program on campus, there becomes this jealousy and envy of the program success and the attention that you may get media wise, or attention within the student body and things like that, and the support you get. They want that because they want to feel that shine, because honestly, like, technically you go to high school, you think you're going to be in that atmosphere of the football team, or definitely the basketball team, really getting a lot of the talk, and so I looked at it like, if we're the best program on campus and you're still not wanting to like work with us and help us let us help you get better, or whatever the case may be, then it's just not going to work, and it becomes hating and things like that. And it just, the relationships begin to sour, and it shouldn't be like that. They all should be one student body, one unit as a program, athletic program. Track and football should be, in a marriage. And a lot of times in high school, it just doesn't work that way. And it really sucks to not have that type of camaraderie.
I think we're robbing the kids of an opportunity. You know what I mean? Like if football coaches want their kids to focus on football only, like they're missing out on opportunities to become a better athlete, especially with getting faster. I mean, the difference maker is speed at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? If you have a kid that runs a 10-3 and you got a DB covering that runs a 11-7, I mean, who's going to win that battle?
Right.
I had a coach tell me last year, he was like, the average football player runs like 11-1. I was like, you got to be crazy. I think the average football player right now runs like 11-5, 11-6, 11-7. You know what I'm saying? And so you get a dude that runs 10-3, like that's next level stuff. You get a dude running 7-11, 10-80s.
Right.
That's next level for a football player.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I honestly think football and track should go hand in hand. I think the coaches should work together. I think, like I said earlier, I think you get a better product on the football field when they play football. When they run track, you get a tough-minded kid, you know what I mean, on the track. And I just think both things should go hand in hand. I think with college coaches now requiring kids to run 100, I think that's going to give us opportunity to really develop a lot of football kids who wouldn't normally run track. You know?
Love that.
Yep.
I know UCLA recently, one of the guys that run at Chaparral, I know in order for him to get his scholarship at UCLA for football, he had to run a 10-7. Like, he was like,
that's what I'm saying.
You got to run the 10-7. So, and he ended up running it.
Imagine what that'll do, man. Like, you get a kid who's being highly recruited, but the school hasn't pulled the trigger on him yet. He goes out and runs 10-70.
Boom.
You know what I'm saying? How many more offers is that kid going to get? You know what I mean? How many more looks he's going to get, because they know the kid is fast. They know he can run.
Yep.
And so, speed is the differentiator, man. You got to be fast, especially at the next level. When you're talking about the competition in the SEC and you got the Big Ten, these powerhouse teams, they need kids that can run. The average kid, I think, football kid goes 11-5. You get a 10-70 on the field, you get a 10-60, you get a 10-3, 10-2, 10-1 kid on the field. I mean, that's crazy talk.
Yep.
Our football program, we got 6 kids that go sub 1050. I mean, get those
Run it
dudes
up.
and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Get them the ball, see what they do. You
Right.
know? Yeah, for sure. That's my thoughts on football. I think if you're a football coach and you're not taking advantage of your track coach and the speed program, I think you're leaving a lot on the table, in my opinion.
Leaving a lot of meat on the bone.
Hey,
Yes,
so
sir.
we're talking about just in that conversation. You're talking about, you know, putting kids in position to get noticed by colleges and put them in position to do what they need to do to get picked up by colleges. One of the things that I like that you guys would appreciate what you guys are doing over there with Servite and Rosary is the social media. You guys, social media is great. You like giving the kids a lot of exposure. Can you speak about that and how important that is?
It's funny that you say that, Will, because our social media sucked. Like in the Max Thomas days, like our social media did not hit at all. We got to give a ton of credit to Joe Hunter, Jalen Hunter's dad. And so he came in, he noticed that our social media was if we had to grade ourselves on our social media content, it was a straight back. He was terrible at it. And when Joe came, Joe kind of took over the social media for our kids, and he's taking our stuff to a whole nother level. I mean, we got Texas commenting on our social media posts, we got Florida commenting, we got kids on the East Coast commenting on our social media posts. So he really took our social media to a whole nother level. He highlights the kids that need to be highlighted.
Yeah.
He makes sure that he doesn't miss like a major PR. He doesn't miss like we have an outstanding performance. He's doing stuff like as soon as we do it, like for example, we went sub 40, like he had to post out in like minutes, less than 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So in addition to our kids doing really well, I think the social media aspect is what's really putting us on the map as also. You know, our kids out there competing. Joe's is doing a really great job of getting our content out there, you know, really quick, really fast. So that way everyone can see what we're doing and everyone can take notice, you know, of how good the Servite and Rosary programs are becoming.
Now he's doing great. It's like he's on the payroll. It's like what he's doing is equivalent to what these colleges are doing, you know?
I need to pay that guy. I got to figure out the way to pay that guy. He's taking our program to the next level with how well he manages our social media.
Shout out to Joe.
Yeah, Joe Hunter is killing us.
I know Joe.
And we've been getting a ton of compliments on it.
That's dope.
There's people like, who's doing your social media? Like, who's doing that? And that's Joe. And that's Joe Hunter. Yeah.
That's cool.
No, you're doing a great job.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
But hey, Coach, when your coaching career is over and you look back on it, what do you hope to have? Like, what is your lasting impact? What are you hoping your lasting impact would be?
It's just getting kids from high school to the next level of their lives, man. Like a big part of what we do is mentorship and guiding these young men and young women to like the next phase of their careers, like we talked about earlier in the show. If I could be remembered as someone to help kids get to the next level, I think I've done my job.
That's big.
Awesome.
Well, Coach Coach Thomas, this was definitely fun. This has been outstanding, actually. We appreciate you sharing your story, philosophy, the culture behind, you know, what you built there at Servite and at Rosary. There's so much value here for the athletes, the coaches, and the parents. You know, the parents really need to hear what you have to say, especially when it comes to the relationships and that you have with the athletes and what you ultimately want for the athletes in both of your programs. Thank you again for joining us on Beyond the Blocks, and to everyone joining in. If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure you subscribe, follow, and share the show. And you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Instagram at Beyond the Blocks. For Coach Will Humphreys, Anthony Lewis, I'm Coach Lonnie D. Thank you for listening. Until next time, keep building, keep believing, and we'll see you beyond the blocks.